A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to the LVC for Strategic Management. My name is Arjit Sethi, and I'm very happy to welcome you on a Sunday morning to this very interesting chapter. We are doing chapter number 2, which is external environment. We're doing analysis of external environment. And when I say analysis, this is not just any random analysis. We are doing strategic analysis of external environment, an environment which is beyond the control of the business, right? How we understand external environment is beyond the control of business. Good morning to everyone who's sending me a good morning message on the chat. Very good morning. Very happy to see you guys active in the morning. That's what we want from this class. We want you to be active. I'm wearing the same t-shirt. Why? Because I want to keep the flow of chapter number 2, even though I did not want to, but still I wore this. Why? Because we did chapter 2 yesterday. We're continuing chapter 2. I wanted to keep a flow of my energy, and I think that's passing. And I see a lot of energy from you guys as well. So very happy. All of you have joined on Zoom or on the BOS app. Feel free to please chat as much as you can. And in the last 30 minutes, you raise your hands, we unmute you, ask your questions. Okay, the format remains the same. However, I have brought something new. I thought about it yesterday and I want to do something new today. That is, I see a lot of you are facing challenge in understanding whether to read from the notes that I am sharing here, the presentation or the notes that we upload, right? Or should we study from the study material? How many of you are still facing challenge in figuring out कि यार पढ़ना कहाँ से है? Should I read the presentations that are being presented or should I go to the study material? How many of you are still confused? Give me a yes, thumbs up, yes in caps lock, right? If you're still confused and feeling that maybe I'm not very sure what's happening, maybe I still want to figure out how do I go and study the study material so that I can answer questions in the exam hall. Give me a yes, thumbs up. I see thumbs up from Vishal. I see Uma giving a yes, morning. Wow. Uma says a big yes with 5 S's. Okay, awesome. No, I know a lot of you are facing that problem. So what I'm trying to do here today is we will do a couple of slides. We will do a few slides here, but then I would teach you certain portion of today from the study material as well, right? A little difficult while making notes as well. I'll teach you that. I'll teach you that. That's my job. Miss P, I now remember Smriti. Okay. Okay, we'll teach you that as well. That's what my idea in today's class is. We do chapter number 2, but we also see how to read the study material. Again, like ma'am said yesterday, our idea is not just for you to clear the examination. That's a priority for sure. But we just want to give you everything that helps you beyond the exam as well. How do you do things? How do you read a study material, especially a theoretical subject like a strategic management? जहाँ पे कोई numbers नहीं है, जहाँ पे सिर्फ concepts हैं which can have different versions, which can have different opinions. Every business can have a different opinion about a particular concept. How do you write answers there? We'll do that today. Okay. So with that excitement, let's quickly get to where we were in the last class, my friend. Okay. We were doing the external analysis. You guys remember this now? SWOT. The two portions considered in situational considerations for strategic analysis are the industry and competitive conditions, which are opportunities and threats. And then there are strengths and weaknesses, which is an organization's own capabilities, the strengths and the weaknesses. Okay. We were talking about the external and the internal analysis, where external analysis is all about identifying opportunities and threats, while the internal analysis is all about figuring out your own strengths and weaknesses. Okay. Now, the issues to be considered for strategic analysis, what we were talking about was one, It evolves over a period of time. It evolves reactions and proactiveness. Then you react, you proactive, the competitor reacts, you react to that, you be proactive. If you foresee a new thing coming in the market, you become proactive. Something happens, you react. It evolves over a period of time. So इसका analysis करना बड़ा मुश्किल है because it's evolving, it's ever evolving, changing. So it's very difficult to analyze. It's an issue, can be overcome through tools, through methods we will teach or learn together in this syllabus, especially chapter 2 and 3, right? The second issue that you might consider in strategic analysis is the balance of external and internal forces. Now, what happens is in practice, like I told you, bahar to bahut opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity outside the business. You see a lot of opportunity in industry, in market, but do you really have the resources to particularly capture that opportunity? Maybe not. I am a business person who has extra cash 20 lakhs. 20 lakh rupees is my extra cash. I can use that to invest somewhere. Can I start a company like Zepto? Maybe not. I need so much investment. So opportunity to hai. I can figure out that there's an opportunity of quick commerce in India, a lot of boom. There are very limited players as on today. The opportunity is massive, right? But do I have the resources? Do I have the expertise? Do I have the technological knowledge? Maybe not. So you have to balance your external and internal factors. Number three, risk. We will talk in depth about risk today. Okay. Now, risk is very, very interesting. Once we do this, then we take you to the study material. ये करके, ये वाला topic करके, I'll take you to the study material, where after this topic, we'll start studying how study material is to be read. But let's focus back on strategic analysis risk. Okay. Now, there are four kinds of risk, my friend. The risk to your analysis, क्या होता है ये? This is not risk to strategy. Please remember, this is risk to strategic analysis. Can you repeat with me, please? Can you please put on the chat? This risk is not for strategy. This risk is for what? We're talking about risk for what? This risk is for not for strategy, but this is risk to strategic analysis. That's right. Thank you, Smriti, for typing in, right? This is, thank you, Almaz, Julie. Absolutely. Remember this. The risk we are talking about, Sunil, thanks. Risk to strategic analysis. Boma, again, thank you. The risk to strategic analysis, not to strategy. The strategic analysis ka risk kya hai? There are four kinds of risk. Remember this. There are four kinds of risk to strategic analysis. Number one is external. Number two is internal. Number three is short term. Number four is long term. Number one, external. Number two, internal. Number three, short term. Number four, long term. But it's a mix of these four categories. It's a mix of these four categories. The risk to strategic analysis, my friend, can either be short term external or long term external. It can either be short term internal or it can be long term internal. ठीक है? थोड़ा confusing हो रहा है. I know it's getting confusing, but let's solve this for you. Let's solve this for you. Okay. Let me take an example of a business that we all are starting. Let us say we are starting a business of sunglasses. ठीक है जी? We are starting a business of sunglasses only. So sunglasses banate hain. Our product is a new age sunglass, UV protection, very good quality. We're just selling sunglasses to both men and women. Now, when you're doing strategic analysis of this business, you figure out, oh, okay, the environment, or that's, let's say, the external environment, which can include technology, the demographics, the cultural thing, and all of that. Okay. Now, I say I will sell sunglasses to kids, or let's say to market from the age of 16 to 22. These are the new age Gen Alpha, Gen, whatever you call them. Okay. Gen Zs and Gen Alphas and Gen whatever, new age kids 16 to 22. That's my market. And I say, oh, okay, the price point I will keep as 5,000 rupees. Now listen to this carefully. Your analysis is that I will keep the price point 5,000 rupees for a sunglass. My market is the new age, young Gen Alpha, 16 to 22 years old. And these are the kids who can really convince their parents to give them 5,000 rupees because our sunglasses are the new cult. We'll create a culture, we'll create social media advertisements where people get FOMO. You understand FOMO, the fear of missing out. We create a sense of FOMO, fear of missing out, and so people will go and buy it. एक स्ट्रेटेजी में हमने एनालिसिस किया कि हम ऐसा कर लेंगे. That's my external short term interpretation. ठीक है जी. Short term internal interpretation है. Now what happens? Do you think there is a risk to this analysis? Do you think there is a risk to this analysis? Yes or a no? High risk. Here he says, oh wow, there's a high risk. Tell me why as well, okay? Everybody who's giving answers on chat, thank you so much, first of all. Others, I would request, please, please, please be active. This is not a lecture. This is a classroom, so you can talk. When I say talk, you can put in the chat, okay? Do you feel there is a risk to this analysis? If yes, why? If no, then also why? The target audience is very sensitive. Okay, let's say, Hinari, okay, I take your point. The target audience is sensitive and there is high risk. What else? The price point is too much. Okay, Priyanka says limited market. Okay, limited market hai, price point too much hai, the customer is sensitive. ठीक है. Okay, the segment is very unorganized. Okay, good, very nice. The assumptions, the analysis that you're doing is fantastic, and that's exactly what the point says. There can be errors in interpreting the environment, which causes strategic failure. Okay. Now, what can happen is, see, errors in interpreting the environment can cause strategic failure. The kind of assumptions you have about the market you're going to play in, the kind of assumptions you have for the business you want to play in might be wrong. It's assumption, na? कि भाई 16 to 22 age people will buy a 5,000 rupee. We will create a FOMO. नहीं कर पाए तो, नहीं हुआ तो. If people, if the students or the age group 16 to 22 of India cannot spend 5,000 on a sunglass, I don't think so they can. If they would, that would be a very limited market, like you said, right? Now, the errors can be in interpreting the environment in a different way. I can be very emotional and motivated about my business and product, but that doesn't really mean that that makes sense. Okay. Now, this error in interpreting the environment can really, really cause issues. And that's what we mean here is that one, short-term external environment risk, to strategic analysis. The analysis becomes dicey. Let's go to the next step. Let's go to the next step. Okay. What happens if the environment only changes? Your assumption might be right. Your assumption might be wrong. That's short term because you can then go and change your assumption. You can go and rework on your assumption. So it's a short term external risk. It is a risk, but you can overcome it very quickly. It's a short term external risk. But what happens if the environment changes as a whole? What happens if the environment itself changes? Recession आ गया. There is recession, there is hyperinflation, and and the markets are going down, the spending is going down. There is afra tafri, right? There is chaos in the economy. People are losing jobs right, left, center. The businesses are not making money. The environment, the economic environment around you changes drastically, and you are a new business taking your sunglasses saying, oh, 5,000 rupees, young people, do you want to buy? Go and convince your parents. And people are saying, my parents might just lose the job. That's how bad the economy is. I will not buy this. So your assumption might be right. They might buy, but the environment changes. And your strategic analysis will be zeroed. And this is a long-term risk, which is external, beyond your control. अब क्या ही कर सकते हो? If the economy is changing, the economic conditions are changing, what can you do? As a business doing sunglasses, क्या ही कर सकते हो? आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो. So it's a long-term external risk, and this will take time. You can't go and just switch things and say, oh, from tomorrow, maybe the strategy changes, my analysis changes, price point is this. Nothing doing. People are not going to buy luxury goods during recession. People are not going to buy the goods that they don't need. It's a want product. It's not a need product. So during economic crisis, people will focus on the basic need products and not on luxuries and wants like sunglasses and designer and all that. They won't. So the environment changes beyond your control. Long-term risk to your strategy. Long-term external risk to your strategy, my friend. Let's come down. Let's come down. The short-term internal risk क्या है? The internal, we talked about external things beyond control. The demographics changed, the people didn't buy, the price point was too high. We did not understand the demographics of the population we were trying to cater. We did not understand their the buying power, their purchasing power, right? Our failure, but based on the extent. Our analysis was wrong, external environment ka. Second is the environment changes as a whole. Number three is internally. Internally, we are not able to cope up with the strategic demands. There can be a risk to your analysis internally when you thought you would sell 10,000 pieces, but the demand in the market was for 30,000 pieces. That's a risk to your it's a good thing. It's a good thing. भाई demand है और क्या चाहिए? But it's a risk to your strategic analysis. You could not analyze your market correctly. That's a risk. It's a lost opportunity. Now, I think that maybe 10,000 sunglasses I will sell in 1 year. But the moment I introduced, within 2 months, I had orders for 30,000 sunglasses. कहाँ से बनाओगे? कैसे बनाओगे? There is a risk. कर तो लेंगे. Anyway, you will figure out. You're a business person, you're a risk taker, you're an entrepreneur, you'll figure out something. But that internally means your analysis was wrong. But you were very conservative in your analysis. You could not figure out that how much product, how much resource, how much raw material I will need. Your internal planning was at risk. That's what an internal short term. You will anyway overcome. It's short term because you will be under stress for the next 2-3 months. Once the product is in, once you start bringing the supply chain and production, हो जाएगा. हो तो जाएगा. So it's a short term internal risk where your own capacity does not mean the strategic demand. Okay. But number four is long term internal risk. What is long term internal risk? For example, God forbid the entrepreneur, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying the entrepreneur of that business or the owner of the business gets into a medical emergency, doesn't come to work for the next 2 months, had a family exigency, went away for a month. Business will turn around. Chalega hi nahi. Because there's nobody to give direction, right? Or people start leaving. Or, right, the changes internally, the board of directors changes. The loan appetite changes. Now, inconsistency with the strategy are developed on account of changes in internal capacity and preferences. Classic example देता हूँ आपको. I'll give you a classic example. Big organizations do a lot of acquisition, right? The cost of acquisition that they do is absurd. Let's say there's a business which is like a $10 billion company. They buy another company which for $6 billion. $10 billion की company buys a company for $6 billion for which they take a loan of $4 billion. $4 billion का loan ले लिया. Now the new business that they acquired did not work, did not sync well with their existing customers. People started showing away from their existing brand also. तो अब क्या होगा कि भाई your internal capacity challenges, भाई you have to pay a loan. You can't spend money on marketing, you can't spend money on innovation, you can't spend money on sales, you can't spend money on incentives for the sales people, you can't spend money on building more talented teams, the product, you can't allocate resources there. It's going to be a long term thing for you. It will take 2 3 5 years to repay the loan. Internal inconsistency आ गई. Your internal inconsistency becomes a big risk to your analysis. There's a huge market, there's a huge potential. I want to do this, that, but I have a huge loan to pay. Bhai, I will just stick to whatever business I'm doing. I don't want to experiment because huge loan to pay for the next 3 5 years. That's how the business's condition would be, right? Inconsistencies with the strategy. Inconsistency with strategy, which is internal long term, which is internal long term. अंदर ही कुछ इतना बड़ा change आ गया that it takes time to overcome. That's an internal long term risk to strategic analysis. Priyanshi says, if 30,000 ki demand hai, then the cost will increase. You will need to replan the strategy. Absolutely, yes. That's a risk to analysis. That's right, Priyanshi. You would have to. And that's the risk to your strategic analysis. Are we clear on this? Give me a yes, no, thumbs up, okay. When I say thumbs up, somebody in the chat once wrote me, give me thumbs up. He said, I like Sprite. I don't like thumbs up. Wow. Okay. Anyway, thank you, everyone who's writing a yes. Vishal, Smriti, Muhammad, Kumar, Vishal again, Almas, Neera. Good. Thank you. People on the BS chat, I can see you as well. Thank you so much. Priyanshi, a family emergency that is not external. We are talking about the external and internal environment. You're not, family is your internal thing only, no, for a business. We're talking about इंटरनल एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट. और बिजनेस के लिए आपकी फैमिली तो आपकी इंटरनली प्रॉब्लम है ना. वो कस्टमर डेमोग्राफिक इकोनॉमी को क्या लेना देना है आपकी फैमिली से. इट्स एन इंटरनल इशू दैट यू हैव टू सॉल्व. दैट्स व्हाई इट्स एन इंटरनल थिंग. Think from a business perspective, macro, micro. Okay. Can I please explain internal long term again? Absolutely. Prem, I'll do that in 30 seconds. There's an internal capacity, your financials, your people, the teams, you yourself, your decision makers, your senior leadership, the corporate level. Anything changes for them, anything, there's an inconsistency in any of these things which are internal to you. Your teams start going away, right? People start losing, people start going away from the company. Why? Because people are getting better jobs somewhere else. Let's say your company, you have, let's say, 10 accountants. Okay, you have 10 accountants. You pay them, let's say, 25,000 per month, assuming. Okay, you have a small firm, you have 10 accountants, you pay them 25,000 per month, and they're happy working for you. Your business is booming, you have great work. अच्छा खासा business चल रहा है. A new brand or a new company opens up their office in your area, and they say hiring for accountants, monthly salary 35,000. Will people stay with your company? Some would just go away. Now, when you're sitting in your office and you're thinking, wow, I have 10 accountants, the business is booming, I will acquire new business, I will go and pitch services to the manufacturing plant in a nearby area, in the suburbs of my town. I will go to Mumbai and pitch businesses. I will go online, pitch startups that I will give you accounting services. You have all that plan and analysis in your mind. Very good. आपकी टीम जा रही है दोस्त. Your team, out of 10 people, 5 have already left for the 35,000 job. तो आपका analysis जो है ना, your strategic analysis, that's at risk. उसमें risk create हो गया है. Why? Because there is an internal inconsistency. Your internal resources are no longer supporting your strategic outlook of where you want to be. That is the risk, which is long-term internal risk. It will take time to now bring new people, bring them back, create again the same motivation in the team. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि कल फिर से हम चालू करें. It will take you 3, 4, 5 months or even longer, right? That is a long-term internal risk to your strategic analysis. Is it clear? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay. Have you heard about Kingfisher? Have you heard about Kingfisher Airlines? Yes, we all have heard about Kingfisher Airlines. That's a classic case of risk to strategic analysis, right? Now, Kingfisher के साथ क्या हुआ? Poor financial management, internal inconsistencies created risk to their overall strategic analysis. It was a booming company. It was one of the finest airlines India had seen at that time. But internal inconsistencies, poor financial management, non-compliance, taking things too lightly on a legal front, all internal inconsistencies led to a long-term risk to their strategic analysis. कितना भी analysis किया होगा, we'll do this for customers, we'll do that pricing, we'll beat this competitor. All of that went in vain because they were inconsistent internally, financially, compliance wise, legally. All of that they did not take care of, and it went away. Yahoo. Yahoo at one time could even buy Google, but they lost the opportunity, right? Today, nobody remembers Yahoo. If you look at Maruti Suzuki also, even today, Maruti Suzuki, a lot of companies are bringing EV products, right? You see a Tata, you see a Mahindra, you see a Hyundai. All of them are bringing EV, electric vehicles. Have you seen any Maruti Suzuki EV model, which is like people are buying a lot of EV models of Maruti Suzuki? Have you seen any model that they have introduced and that has been a massive hit? No. This means that they're misreading the consumer trends. This means their assumptions with regard to external environment are weak. They're not able to understand a lot of consumer trends. Maybe they're too rigid, I don't know. Tata is ruling EV. Mahindra is doing great in EV. A lot of new brands, Hyundai, Kia, all of these are bringing EV, but Maruti Suzuki का नहीं आ रहा है. An external short-term risk is that their assumption that, oh, the market doesn't need EV at this point in time. EV will come in the future after, let's say, 5 years. We will invest in EV after 5 years. Maybe they will lose the opportunity. Maybe their assumption is not right. We don't know. Maybe their assumption is right. Time will tell. But currently, what we can see is their assumption of the external environment is a risk to their overall strategic analysis. They're not able to figure out what's happening. Okay, very good. The close and continuous interaction between business and environment. क्या होता है ये? Okay, why will a strategic analysis be of importance for a business? Why will a strategic analysis be of importance to the business? Is a simple question with 5 points. You would have heard strategic management key importance in chapter number 1. What we are right now doing is the importance of strategic analysis for the business. The two are different. The answers to two are different. The questions for two will come as different. So how will you identify? The question will ask it specifically. Okay, the question will be very clear in terms of why is strategic analysis or the interaction between the environment and the business. You should read this line. Why is the interaction between the business and its environment important? Here आपका keyword. You have to mention this in your answer that a close and continuous interaction between a business and its environment is absolutely important, and this is why. And this is why. The 5 points on your screen tell you why is it important for business to interact with its environment continuously and closely. 1, it helps determine opportunities and threats. Okay, it helps to determine the kind of opportunities available in the industry, in the market, and the upcoming threats in the market from competition, from technology, from legal standpoint, from tariffs, like US puts tariffs. क्या threat है मुझे? Unless you interact with your business environment, you would never come to know what kind of threats are coming. So that interaction, the continuous interaction, the close interaction with your business environment is absolutely important. It determines opportunities and threats. The close and continuous interaction between business and its environment gives direction for growth. It gives direction for growth because now you know an opportunity. Now you know the upcoming threat. Now you know what's happening in the environment. It gives you a direction for growth. A close and continuous interaction between a business and its environment helps in continuous learning for the business. By continuously learning about yourself and the external environment. Not just about the external, but also about yourself. When I say environment, it is both external and internal. Please mind you. You learn more about your own business every single day. You learn more about the external environment every single day. So close and continuous interaction between a business and its environment helps in image building. Helps in image building. Classic example, like we were talking, Tata. Now, Tata Motors is ruling EV segment. Bhai sahab, itne new designs, so many new models, so many EV cars, a cheap price, like 8 lakh, 7 lakh, 10 lakh. Average middle class segment में EV cars निकाल रहे हैं. Because they interacted with their environment, they figured out their own resource allocation, they figured out the market need, they prepared themselves internally to deliver to this market, and that has created an image for Tata Motors ki wow, they have arrived, they are future ready, they are working for the Indian consumer. They're not saying अरे EV गाड़ी 25 lakh 30 lakh. They're saying no, every Indian should in the future starting today have an EV car. Let's be responsible and shift to electric vehicles. And that's the image they have created. It helps in image building, my friend. Close and continuous interaction between a business and its environment helps in meeting the competition. Competition तो पढ़ाई कर रहा है अपनी. आप नहीं पढ़ाई करोगे तो 100% you're gonna lose. Which means the close and continuous interaction between business and environment is पढ़ाई करो environment की. Study the environment, the internal, the external, the people, the customer, yourself, your resources, your organizational structure, your own financials, competitors' reactions, the demographics of the population, the legal aspect, the environmental, the technological aspect, what's happening politically. सब कुछ आपको पता होना चाहिए. You have to study that. Only then you figure out opportunities, you plan for growth, you learn continuously, you build an image for your brand, and you meet, rather beat competition. If the question asks, why is strategic management important? What answer will you give? I want you to give me quick revision. My question is simple. It's on your screen. What is the importance of strategic management? क्या लिख के आओगे? Why is strategic management so important for business? What will you write? Give me any 2, 3 points on the chat right now, very quickly. I want you to do that very quickly. On your screen, what is the importance of strategic management? To prepare proactive and receive risk. I don't think so that was the answer. Receive or reduce? Reactive. बस आंसर लिख के आ जाओ. Okay, reactive. Enhances longevity of the business. Determine opportunities and threats. Give direction for growth. Very nice, Smriti. To reduce risk. Okay. Meeting competition. Very nice. I've only got one right answer from Boomer. Meeting competition, Jayendra. Continuous learning. Absolutely. Continuous learning, image building, meeting competition. Very good. Serves as a corporate defense mechanic. Only one person has understood the question. Now, Julie has understood the question, determines goals and mission. My friend, when starting this concept, I said there is a difference between strategic analysis or the importance of understanding strategic analysis and strategic management. I asked you, what is the importance of strategic management? I confused you on your screen and you did not understand the question. The importance of strategic management was longevity of the business, goals and mission, right? Corporate defense mechanism. याद आ रहा है? To create core competency and competitive advantage. That is the importance of strategic management. The importance of strategic analysis, of understanding, interacting with business and environment is determining opportunities and threats, giving direction for growth, continuous learning, image building. Two things are different. Please remember, you want to write it down somewhere, write it down somewhere. आप घर आ जाओगे कि wow, 5 marks done for this question. Your brother, your sister is clearing the exams. घर आओगे 0 मिलेगा. क्वेश्चन ही नहीं पढ़ा, क्वेश्चन ही नहीं समझा. There's a difference between the two, okay? Are we now clear? It's good to be wrong here rather than go and mistakes there, and which will cost you another 3 months of preparation, or rather 4 months of preparation. Okay, clear? Very good. It's okay to be wrong here. Don't feel disheartened कि अरे मैं नहीं समझ पाया, कोई बात नहीं, अच्छा ही नहीं समझ पाया. Why? Because in exam you will now remember this. Otherwise, you will be, oh, I am very smart. I knew everything. I'm not saying that. Boomer, very good that you could figure that out. Congratulations and keep that thing high. Okay. You're very attentive. Glad you were attentive. For others, please be more careful while reading the questions, understanding what's being asked. ये भी कला है. Okay. Great. There are certain examples. Probably once I upload, we can see. Right now, let's say Patanjali is an example. Now, what is Patanjali doing is leveraging growing consumer interest in health and wellness. They're doing more Indianization of their products. They're going for more desi branding. They're saying, oh, okay, let me just go and give a desi flavor to every possible FMCG product. You want oats? Desi oats. You want toothpaste? Desi toothpaste. You want a Maggie? Atta desi Indian Maggie. Right? They're doing everything that a foreign brand does, but they're giving a desi touch. Direction for growth मिल रही है उनको. Why? Because they're continuously learning the environment. They're saying इंडियन कंज्यूमर को पेट्रियोटिज्म बड़ा पसंद है. इंडियन कंज्यूमर loves patriotism. Indian consumer is patriotic. Indian consumer ko, if you educate that, oh, your money is going to foreign brands, why don't you keep your money within India itself? उनको सामान से कोई मतलब नहीं है. The Indian consumer will not then care about if the product is good or bad or whatever it is. They're like, but the money stays in India, so I will buy this. थोड़ा तो 19-20 चलता है, right? We'll start compromising on a product, but that idea of patriotism is what will sell for a particular brand. They have gathered that. They're doing that. Why? Why? Because they're doing continuous study of the external and internal environment. Their strength is patriotism. Their strength is desi pant, right? They're more desi, they're more Indianizing. That and the external environment also needs that. Indian consumer to bada emotional Indian hai. Let's go and sell that. So that's how you read environment. That's how you build an analysis. Okay. Absolutely. They try to reduce chemicals and product, make it herbal. Absolutely. I'm saying they're doing good stuff. They're doing good stuff as a brand, right? Again, everyone can have a personal opinion for a product, good or bad, it's per your use. What I'm trying to tell you is they're able to crack this. They're doing fantastic business. If I look at the business, massive, massive success. I don't know, they've crossed like what, 20, 30,000 crores or more in revenue, even more now, right? They're doing great as a business because they're cracking the strategy. They're cracking the strategic analysis. That's what I'm saying. Okay, very nice. Now, you see, how do you build an image of the brand? I was talking about Tata. Then there are certain brands like Unilever, P&G. What they do is for every product you buy, 1 rupee goes to girl child education. Everything you do goes there, right? Now, all of this is image building for a particular brand. For a particular brand. Same happens with a lot of airlines. You would see like Air India, they do a lot of Indianization. They're building image that we give you extra service, unlike other airlines where the air hostess or the conditions are very rude or people are very rude with the consumers. Air India is very welcoming and very soft. That's kind of image building. Why? Because they're reading the environment. Customer ko problem kya hai? What are the issues the customer has from the competition? अब ये भी तो strategic analysis है ना दोस्त. Understand this. If I identify my consumers hate something about my competitor, that's my strategy. यही तो मेरे को solve करना है. यही तो मुझे solve करना है. If my competitors are being hated for something, that is my opportunity to go to the customer and say, oh, I do that so much better, come to me. सिंपल, कुछ नहीं करना है आपने. आपको कहीं दिमाग नहीं लगाना है. You have to solve for the problems that your competitors has or the consumers have a problem with your competitor. Solve that and your image building is massive. You will build an image कि भाई बहुत ही बढ़िया कंपनी आ गई है हमारे पास, right? That is what happens. That is what Jio does. Airtel was increasing prices of internet because obviously that's costly. Jio comes and says problem है ना, पैसे पैसे देने में problem है, free internet. Image build कर दी कि Jio तो सस्ता. Even today, the mindset of the consumer, I can tell you, a lot of people I talk to, the price of the Airtel and the Jio plans is copy paste. It's exactly the same for majority of the plans. But still, a lot of people have that mental image कि यार Jio थोड़ा सस्ता है. It is not. Or maybe some plan would be. It's even expensive now. That's right, Kiran. It's even expensive now. But the image in the customer's mind is कि यार Jio सस्ता है. The Geo plans are cheaper. That's the image they have created, which is not true. Or maybe true for some plans, but not majority. But that image is still there. Why could they create that image? Is because they were doing study of the environment. Customer को चाहिए क्या? Free चाहिए दे दो. We will have a cost. I have resources. I have money. I will build that strategy. बहुत बढ़िया, right? Why are companies able to do this? Because they are studying environment, my friend. They are studying the political, the legal aspect, the consumer themselves. सब कुछ पढ़ के वो analysis करके they are doing this business, right? It's not an easy job, and you guys are preparing for it, and that's the best thing. You're future ready now. अपना business करना है, किसी और का चलाना है. You're getting all this knowledge. Broaden your perspective. दोस्त exam तो clear हो जाएगा. They created the urgency for need for internet. Absolutely right. Everybody now has internet. I am sometimes surprised, I'll be honest with you, beyond the class. I'm sometimes surprised. I try to save a lot of my data pack. Okay. Personal. I don't know, you guys do that. I try to save a lot of, and I want to use more of Wi-Fi. When I reach home and I reach office, I will use a Wi-Fi or something. I'll not use my phone data. I'll download something, watch something, but I'll not use my phone data. And I see a lot of people in metros and buses, people are doing video calls in HD. They're just using their internet like it's free. And I'm like, dude, that's like 700 rupees for 3 months. How are you spending so much money on internet? They are spending. They might be 1/10 my income, maybe, I don't know, or even uh, still, that shouldn't be a concern. But again, I'm trying to save internet, but people are using that mindset shift brands have brought in people is, yeah, internet to chahiye, it's a basic need. I don't know, you have heard about the three needs of human, roti, kapda, makan, which is food, shelter, and clothes. And there was something new, people saying the fourth need is internet. You need it, you can't live without it. And that's true. If I take away internet from you, you'll be helpless. You will be clueless. Karna kya hai? Should I just watch walls? Should I just sit randomly in park? What should I do? I'm so idle. If I take away phone and internet, you don't know what to do. Your hands will start feeling jittery in like 1 minute itself. Ki yaar, let me just open my phone, go on Instagram, do random scrolls, YouTube चलाऊंगा, LinkedIn चलाऊंगा, right? कुछ नहीं. Phone रख के internet बंद हो गया, you'll clueless कि you will have no purpose in life. I don't know you if you feel it, I feel it. And that's what they have created. Let's come back to syllabus. This can go on and on for hours. Okay. So that is what strategic analysis is all about, my friend. It has four risks. It has four risks. It has certain importance that is very, very looked for by businesses because they need it. Everyone is on the phone when you travel. Absolutely. I can tell you every single person's neck is down, phone, and people don't even know who's sitting next to them. It's happened with me also. I don't know if I'm going in a metro. I don't even know which number of carriage I am in. I just go use phone, enter a train, exit a train. I don't even know what happened, who frisked me, who was ahead of me, who was behind me. I have no clue. I am just in my phone, and that's scary, but that's true, and that's happening with everybody, not just me. That's happening with everybody. We are so clueless and so lost in this piece of internet and phone. भैया सब भगवान भरोसे है. Okay, very nice. Prateek missed his stop in the metro. बहुत ही बढ़िया प्रतीक. बेस्ट है ये. स्टॉप ही भूल गए हम, आगे चले गए. Prateek started a new life, went 3 stations ahead, went to somebody else's home. They were also on the phone. They also said, welcome, beta. You entered their house. You started a new life. All because you were busy in a phone. ठीक है sir. Okay, what we'll do now is, as promised, notes will anyway be uploaded for you. You can watch these. What I want to now do is, the problem that we all are facing is, नोट्स तो अच्छे हैं, नोट्स तो मिल जाएंगे, पढ़ लेंगे इससे, बट द ट्रिक इज एग्जाम तो आएगा स्टडी मटेरियल से. द एग्जाम इज गोइंग टू बी फ्रॉम द स्टडी मटेरियल, माय फ्रेंड. एंड स्टडी मटेरियल हम पढ़ नहीं रहे, तो हम क्या करें? सो टुडे वी विल स्टडी दिस टॉपिक. द नेक्स्ट 1 hour we will go to the study material and learn together from the study material, so that you get to know कि study material, how is study material so different from the notes, and why notes cannot be used for examinations. They're good for revision. They're good to revise what concepts we studied, what was the key point in the concept. But question ना किसी भी line से आ जाएगा study material की. I'll teach you how. So let's quickly go to the study material. I start sharing the study material with you. Let me know once you guys can see the study material. ओके awesome. अभी विजिबल हो गया. ओके, विजिबल, परफेक्ट. Let's go to the study material, and this is our study material. Chapter number 2, strategic analysis, external environment. My friend, we were talking about all of this. We were talking about all of this. Sab padha hai humne. The two important situational considerations. The chart that I showed you, external, identify, opportunity, right? Now, अच्छा मैं आपको ही बताता हूँ. एक क्वेश्चन आएगा एग्जाम में. The question will come कैसे? Let me frame a question right with you, okay? Accurate diagnosis of the business situation is necessary for managerial preparation to decide on a sound long term direction, setting appropriate objectives, and crafting a winning strategy. Support the statement with examples and why is it important for business to have an accurate diagnosis. खत्म हो गया क्वेश्चन. यहां से स्टेटमेंट उठी और क्वेश्चन आ गया एग्जाम में. Accurate diagnosis of the business situation is necessary for managerial preparation to decide on a sound long-term direction, setting appropriate objectives and crafting a winning strategy. Support the statement with examples and reasons. Question in exam आ गया ये. अभी आप कहोगे यार ये तो हमें नोट्स में पढ़ाया ही नहीं. ऐसा तो स्टेटमेंट आई डोंट रिमेम्बर इन द नोट्स. ये तो एलवीसी में नोट्स में ही नहीं दिया हमें. अरे भैया स्टडी मटेरियल. The exam is going to come from study material. If you're not studying, let me tell you, high chances you'll face big problem in the examination. Start studying that. Question ऊपर ही है. आंसर भी ऊपर ही है आपके. ये देखो. The majority of rapidly expanding organizations use strategic planning to throughout the various stages of their operations. The strategic analysis is a component of business planning. Two important situational considerations are these. You can create this graph in the answer also. The analytical sequence is from strategic appraisal of the external and internal situation to evaluate alternatives of strategy to final choice of strategy. Hence, we can say that the accurate diagnosis is important to decide a winning strategy. बात ही खत्म कर दिया. बात ही खत्म कर दी. आंसर भी ऊपर है, क्वेश्चन भी ऊपर है, सब तो आपके स्टडी मटेरियल में ही है. If once you have you don't have to remember every word, you don't have to remember every statement. यार अब ये याद कैसे करें हम? याद कैसे करें? याद नहीं करना है. You have to read this so carefully with full concentration that okay, I read this where. इतना तो करना पड़ेगा ना, एग्जाम है. This तो you will have to do. Now, accurate diagnosis should click, okay, this is strategic analysis, ये रहा chart, वो graph बनाना था, बना दिया. Answer clear? Diagnosis is all about understanding external diagnosis. Doctor diagnosis करता है. You have to do diagnosis of external and internal environment. That is strategic analysis. और क्या है? They will ask questions. You go to a doctor and they ask you what's happening. You say, I feel feverish, my shoulders are paining, my eyes, I feel spiciness in my eyes, the eyes are watery, I have a running nose, my voice is like this, XYZ. I say, okay, have, what did you eat last night? Did you eat ice cream? Do you drink cold water? Diagnosis चल रहा है ना? Why would that have happened? You have to solve for that. Same is the diagnosis for the business, the external and the internal. कि मौसम ही खराब है तो सब बीमार पड़ोगे. डॉक्टर विल नॉट आस्क क्वेश्चंस इफ दे नो देयर इज कॉमन फ्लू सीजन. जैसे यहाँ कॉमन फ्लू है, सबको हो रहा है, तो किसी को नहीं हो रहा है, आपको हो रहा है. देन विल स्टार्ट आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस. क्या खाया था? व्हाट डिड यू ईट? हाउ इज दैट हैपनिंग? व्हाई इज दैट हैपनिंग? दैट्स इन डायग्नोसिस. Okay, we can write 5 importance of strategic analysis also for this question. Yes, you can, but you have to frame and conclude your answer with this. that it gives you long-term direction, sets a routine, drafting a winning strategy, decides all of this. ये match कर देना बस. The answer will be right. Okay? When I'm telling you statements can come from study material is what I'm saying. So read that carefully. Same thing we were studying here. See, study material has more things to study than just the notes. Please remember that as well. There are more things in study material to study. The concept remains the same. It's like we have 5 things for a concept. In notes, we just give 3, right? Because it's notes, it's not a study material. Like you see here, the external analysis में क्या क्या आता है? Customer analysis, competitor analysis, market analysis, environment analysis. Internal analysis में क्या आता है? Performance analysis, your profitability, your sales, your customer satisfaction, the determinants of analysis, the past and the current strategies. What is happening? Are you meeting your objectives? Are you meeting your goals? Is that happening or not? That is your determinants of your analysis. If the strategy is working or not, right? You have to understand that. You have to understand that. The 5 importance of strategic analysis we were studying are here. Determine opportunities and threats, give direction for growth, continuous learning, image building. All of that is happening here. All of that is happening here. Okay. Now, the 2 layers of environment is what we will study. And now we will study this concept from the study material to see our study material se kaise padhte hain. Okay. Micro and macro environment, my friend. There are 2 types of environment, 2 types of business environment. One is micro and one is macro. Now, micro environment is related to a small area or immediate periphery of the organization. Periphery means aspas, suburbs, closeness. Micro environment is very close to the business. It's revolving very close around the business. It influences boundary. That's right, Priyanshi, it's boundary. It influences an organization regularly and directly. Microenvironment consists of suppliers, consumers, marketing intermediaries, competitors, etc. These are specific to the said business or the firm and affects its working on a direct and regular basis. Within the micro or the immediate environment in which a firm operates, we need to address the following issues. The employees, their characteristics and how are they organized, the existing customer base on which the firm relies, the ways in which the firm can raise its finances, who are the firm suppliers, how are they linked, right, between the two which are developed, between the consumer, the business, and the supplier. What are the links? How strong are they? The local community within which the firm operates, the direct competition and their comparative performance. ये सब माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट में आता है मेरे दोस्त. ये सब माइक्रो एनवायरनमेंट में आता है. The factors in micro environment often relate to organization, to the macro issues influencing the way a firm reacts in the marketplace. What does this mean? It's a statement that can come in the question. The factors in micro environment often relate an organization to the macro issues influencing the way a firm reacts in the market. The macro environment is the portion of the outside world which significantly affects how an organization operates, but is typically much beyond its control and influence. The business cannot control and influence the macro environment, but the micro environment is something they can control, understand better. The macro issues influencing the firm, how they react. are basically based on some of the microenvironments as well. Sometimes your customers' behavior changes because of the macro environment changes. Customer is an internal resource, but their way of doing things might change just in case if the macro environment is also changing, like economic downturn we were talking about. Okay, let's do macro environment first. पहले बड़े को समझते हैं, then we get deeper. First we talk about the macro, then we go to micro. Macro environment includes factors outside the firm which can lead to opportunities and threats for the firm. भैया मैक्रो एनवायरनमेंट एक्सटर्नल है तो एक्सटर्नल तो मतलब थ्रेट होगा, अपॉर्चुनिटी होगा, स्वॉट एनालिसिस. या यस सर. Although there are many factors, the most important of the factors in macro environment are socio-economic, technological, supplier, competitors, and the government. That's what Gluck and Josh talk about. But what are the elements we are going to study? The number one is demographic environment. Number one is demographic environment, which is an external macro environment. Bhaiya, macro environment components we are studying. The number one component of macro environment is demographic environment. It's the characteristic of the population. It's the characteristic of the population. What is characteristic? Race, age, income, education, possession, house ownership, job position, religion, the region and the degree of education. सब कुछ इधर आ जाएगा. Data about these characteristics across homes and within a demographic variable are of importance to both the businesses and the economists. एक एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ आपको. एक एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. Okay, just by experience tell me this. If you start a commerce coaching class, if you start a commerce coaching class in Kota, Rajasthan, how are your chances of success? How big are your chances of success? कोटा राजस्थान में आप ना कॉमर्स की ट्यूशन क्लासेस खोलते हो, तो क्या होगा? कितना हाई चांसेस है सक्सेस का? आई वांट टू सी हाउ. Give your answer and why. Give me a why as well. Not just fail or win or success or less chances. Tell me why. ऐसा क्यों सोच रहे हो आप? What are your chances of success? Mohammed says 90%. ठीक है मोहम्मद. Julie says less chance. Kinari says fail हो जाएंगे. Naina says less chances. Mohammed says 90. Naina says because there are NEET, JEE, science students. The population in Kota is to study for IIT because the external environment, the demographic, big chances students are mostly staying and prepare for exam in Kota, but for science, more competition frame, but again, it's more science. Absolutely. I would say the chances are less, or the market is very less. Why? Because I'm saying Kota. See, if you go to Jaipur, a lot of students in Jaipur do CA. Chartered accountancy बहुत लोग करते हैं राजस्थान में, but Kota specifically is more science centered. So from a business perspective, if you see, यार मैं कोटा में जाके कॉमर्स ट्यूशन तो जयपुर में खोल लो. Open start in Jaipur, you'll be more successful there. Why? Because you're understanding the demographic, the characteristic of the population of that area. The educational background is science. तो कॉमर्स का काम क्यों कर रहे हो भाई वहां पे? Reading, understanding the demographic environment, the characteristic of the population, my friend. Characteristic population of my friend is science. कोटा में हो रहा है साइंस, तो आप जाके करोगे कॉमर्स, तो डेमोग्राफिक एनवायरनमेंट तो फेल हो गया. Okay, I'll give you another example. I'll give you another example. Let's say I open a shop in a society. It's a housing society. Listen to this carefully. I open a shop in a housing society where the average price of the house is 15 crore rupees. 15 करोड़ रुपए का फ्लैट है. इतनी महंगी सोसाइटी में मैंने एक शॉप खोली. I have opened a shop in a high end society where the price of each flat is 15 crores. I open a shop of grocery. जनरल स्टोर खोला है मैंने. जनरल स्टोर खोला है. तो मैं स्टोर पे, so in my store, should I put schemes like buy one get one free? ये स्कीम मुझे लगानी चाहिए. Or I should rather price my products even higher, give them quality, and charge a premium with no schemes? Should I have an attitude in the business ki bhai, premium, I get you premium product, I will charge money because you can pay money, so I will charge more money. Or I will say नहीं 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 नहीं, इतना महंगा आपने घर खरीदा है, पैसे बचाओ. I will help you save money because you bought such a costly house. I will give you buy one get one free. आप free ले जाओ धनिया मिर्ची. What should I do? What should I do? Higher prices, no schemes. The ultra rich can buy. How are you taking this decision? यार ये कैसी बात हुई? My first option was also nice कि भाई, that person has spent 15 crores on a house. Now he or she should save a money. तो पैसे बचवाओ उनके. Why are you asking them to spend more? You should help them save money now. I have this counter. But none of you have accepted the fact that they should save money. You want to charge more money from them. Absolutely. What you're doing, my friend, is you're understanding the demographic. भाई इनकम देख रहे हो आप उनकी इनकम देख के अपना प्राइस सेट कर रहे हो. You are deciding your price based on the income of the people you're selling to. तो बहुत ही बढ़िया. ये तो आप डेमोग्राफिक एनवायरनमेंट के एक्सपर्ट हो. यू आर ऑलरेडी एन एक्सपर्ट इन डेमोग्राफिक एनवायरनमेंट माय फ्रेंड. वेरी नाइस. वेरी नाइस. The houses of 15 crores, someone who spends that much are super rich. If we help them save, they would look down and deem as shop where the economic bunch buys. Yeah, that's okay. That's why you charge a premium over. That's why it's okay. You're understanding your demographic environment. You're understanding your demographic environment. Okay. Now, I'll give you another example. Okay. Final example, and then I'll talk about a big brand and then see if you understand this or not. A big brand wants to introduce extremely spicy noodles. मतलब एकदम super super duper spicy noodles निकालने हैं कि आप खाते ही you're just blown. It's so spicy. I want to introduce that spicy noodle in the Indian market. Which state do you think I should introduce, or which states do you think I should introduce extremely spicy noodles? What do you think? Smriti says Andhra Pradesh में निकालो. Andhra Pradesh people, Andhra people are Maharashtra. Julie says Maharashtra में निकालो. Rajasthan, यूपी में निकालो. एमपी में निकालो भाई. राजस्थान में निकालो. प्रियांशी says. नीरज से सदर्न पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया में निकालो. एकदम स्पाइसी खाते हैं वहां पे लोग. महाराष्ट्र में निकालो. हैदराबाद में निकालो. बिहार में निकाल दो. कह रहे भाई स्पाइसी खाना. बिहारी खाना कब से स्पाइसी हो गया यार? ठीक है. इफ यू से सो आई एग्री. You might know more than me, Sunil. Okay, so I'm getting some repeat names, right? Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, southern parts of southern with Andhra southern में ही आ गया ना. Either you go to Tamil Nadu, Kerala, right? Saying इनमें भी निकालो, तेलंगाना में निकालो. MP में निकालो. Sunil, you're from Chhapra, so you know if it's spicy, so we'll introduce in Bihar also then. Super, you know Bihar better than us. Okay. Now my question is, all of you thought about this कि यार spicy खाना कौन से कस्टमर स्पाइसी खाना खाते हैं? वहां पे स्पाइसी नूडल निकालने का मजा आएगा, वहां पे बिजनेस सक्सेसफुल होगा. Which demographic environment criteria were you thinking about? Can you answer? Which demographic environment criteria are we talking about here? टेस्ट ऑफ कस्टमर, वो कौन सा क्राइटेरिया भाई साहब डेमोग्राफिक में? टेस्ट ऑफ रीजन, के रीजन की बात हो रही है, ठीक है. ओके, रीजन की बात हो रही है, राइट. we're talking about region, we're understanding the preference of a particular region, what people eat there, what they don't, right? You're understanding a demographic, the characteristic of a population based on the region. ये यहाँ पे spicy होता है, right? Based on the spiciness. Then Mozi, we're just saying which state has most spicy mirchi? I think that's Bhoot Jolakia from Northeast. Assam में मिलती है Bhoot Jolakia. That's the world's spiciest chili or mirchi. तो नॉर्थ ईस्ट में मिलती है, जिसका किसी ने दिया ही नहीं ऑप्शन. But that's also where you will find a lot of spicy food. You go to Nagaland, you go to Assam, you go to Arunachal Pradesh. Extremely spicy food. Okay, Mohammed is now looking after Master Chef. कोल्हापुर में थेचा मिलता है, ठीक है. Okay, we have heard a lot in Master Chef this time. Okay, let's get back to the second concept, which is socio-cultural environment. But demographic is characteristic of the population. The socio-cultural environment है their social beliefs, value systems, the standards, the ethical standards, the state of society, the extent of social stratification, the conflict, the cohesiveness and so forth. आपको ये भी समझना पड़ेगा कि भाई वहां के बिलीफ सिस्टम क्या है. यू कैन नॉट यू कैन नॉट यू कैन नॉट यू कैन नॉट go against the social beliefs of the society if you have to do business. Let me talk about this very sensitive topic or not, you decide. Okay. Have you heard news that a lot of groups in Maharashtra broke down shops asking them to name their hoardings in Hindi or Marathi? In Bangalore, they broke down shops saying कि यार you have to write Kannada, right? You have to write a Kannada letter, word, and it has to be that, right? You cannot just write Hindi or English. You have to have a Marathi or a Kannada thing. Have you seen that happening? Yes, we all have. Local language को promote करने के लिए all of these goons and local gundas and all of that, they come and do that. Right or wrong, their personal choice. We will not comment on that. That's how they want to live. That's okay. The question here is, as a business, will you have to follow what they're saying? Right or wrong, separate conversation. But will you have to follow what they're saying? The answer is yes. If you want to do business in peace, which might not be, you might feel egoist कि यार ये क्या है, why do I have to follow some goons thing? But you will have to do. Why? Because that's the social cultural environment of that place. If people of the place where you're doing business want you to align with their culture, you will have to do it good or bad. अभी मैकडोनल्ड्स में जाओ बैंगलोर तो कन्नड़ा में लिखा होता है मैकडोनल्ड्स. क्या जरूरत है मैकडोनल्ड्स को कन्नड़ा में लिखने? क्या जरूरत है मैकडोनल्ड्स को हिंदी में लिखने की? मैकडोनल्ड्स लिखा रहता है. इफ यू गो टू मुंबई पुणे एनीवेयर, इट्स रिटन हिंदी में मैकडोनल्ड्स. व्हाई? Because they are getting gelled into the social cultural environment of the business. They're understanding the local nuances, the social belief, this cultural ethics. क्या चाहिए आपको हमसे as a culture? How can I be part of your culture? They're trying to do that. They're trying to do that. Okay. Let me tell you another thing. Let's say, do you think if tomorrow a big brand, let's say like a Domino's, a KFC, a Burger King, they introduce a beef burger in India, what will happen? If they start introducing cow meat burgers, which is beef, the world eats. The world eats, right? It's not like it's good or bad. The globe eats. It's just India specific. They want to enter India, introduce a new product. Can they? Should they? The answer is no. They should not, right? We'll not let that happen, right? When I say we, a lot of social groups in the country. Some might argue yes, some might argue no. But you know for a fact that that won't align with the socio-cultural environment of the country. The business has to understand that. The business has to understand that. You can't open meat shops across temples. You can't open others around mosques, and there's certain shops you can't open around mosques because it hurts the social element sentiments of people. Why do you want to hurt sentiments of people, right? So you have to be very careful of the social cultural environment. Ki, what are the beliefs of the people? What do people believe in? What they don't like, what they like? तो वो आपको बड़ा ध्यान देना है. वो आपको बहुत ध्यान देना है. I'll give you a classic example. Every city, state, whatever it is, right? They have their own pockets. They have their own cultural pockets. So in your wherever you're living, right, you will see there will be a Bengali colony, right? There'll be a Bengali colony. What will happen there? All the people who have come for business or living for jobs, there are Bengali specific area in your city. There all Bengali people live there, right? हो रहा है हर सिटी में होता है. There will be an area where all Gujarati people live. There will be an area all certain groups like cultural basis में groups बन जाते हैं. Now you will find shops which are those culturally aligned shops in those areas. Where the Bengali people are living, you will find a lot of fish shops, right? You will find a lot of vendors selling fish in that area. वैसे नहीं दिखेगा आपको, बस उस एरिया में दिखेगा. Now that business person is social cultural environment पढ़ रहा है कि यार यहाँ पे people, these are the preferences of the people living in this area. I should do this business. कुछ ज्यादा मैथ्स लगाने की जरूरत नहीं होती है इसमें. They are doing the same thing. They are doing social cultural environment analysis. हमें लगता है भाई वो तो वहीं खुलेगी, but actually that is social cultural environment. What we feel as common sense is strategy, and strategy is common sense. That's what keep telling you. When I started this syllabus, I said the entire syllabus is common sense, and now you feel ये तो common sense है. अरे भाई जहाँ पे people eat fish वहीं पे तो दुकान खोलोगे, तो common sense है. अरे भैया common sense ही strategy है. Common sense is strategy, strategy is common sense. That's what it is all about. Socio-cultural environment, the social beliefs, the ethics, the ways of life of the people around is socio-cultural environment. Okay? Very nice. Number 3, इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट. भाई तो पढ़ाना ही नहीं पड़ेगा, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स को ये पढ़ाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. यू गाइज आर एक्सपर्ट्स इन इकोनॉमिक्स. यू गाइज आर एक्सपर्ट्स इन वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमी, ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी, इंडियन इकोनॉमी. यू गाइज, मैं नहीं पढ़ा सकता, यू गाइज आर एक्सपर्ट ऑलरेडी, बट स्टिल आई विल टच अपॉन सम इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्टर्स like testing you. Simple question, my friend, to a chartered accountant. Dear chartered accountants on chat, is inflation good for India or not? Yes and why? No and why? Is inflation good for India? Yes, why? No, why? I want you to answer this, dear chartered accountants. Is inflation good for India? पहला आंसर आया नो, इट विल रिड्यूस डिमांड. ठीक है, ओके, व्हाट एल्स? यस आया है एक. आई सी वन यस. रीजन क्या है? व्हाई अ यस? Moderate to boost revenue. According to population, there is high demand to consume. For countries which are developing like India, inflation is good. Inflation is good. Why? Inflation helps you to create more value for the same product. आज जो आप bread खा रहे हैं, okay, let me ask you this question now. Let me ask you this question. People who are saying no, let me ask you this question. When you were in class standard 1 or 2, like when you were a small kid in first or second, right? Let's say 15 years from now, or whenever you were, what was the price of bread? ब्रेड कितने की आती थी पता है आपको? आइडिया है? ब्रेड कितने की आती थी? नॉर्मल ब्रेड पैकेट लाइक 14-15 स्लाइसेस, कितने की आती थी ब्रेड? 10 रुपीज, 15, 5 रुपए की, 12 रुपए की, 13 रुपए, 10, 12, 13, राइट? मोहम्मद कहाँ से लेते थे दोस्त? 40 रुपीज की तब आती थी. ओके, आई रिमेम्बर 10, 12 रुपीज, मैक्सिमम 12. 14 वॉज लाइक मैक्सिमम कि भाई 14 रुपए की ब्रेड हो गई. टुडे हाउ मच डू यू पे फॉर 40 is current rate? That's right. Now, okay. That's means like 4 times हो गई ना. Today you buy it for what price? 40, 45. Brown was not in market. Multi-grain bread to 70, 75 की भी आती है. You go and buy a multi-grain bread, 80 rupees, 70 rupees. So buy a normal bread, 40, 35, 45, right? 32, 35. So in 15 years, the price of bread has tripled, or even 4 times. 3 से 4 गुना हो गया. कितना बुरा हो गया हमारे साथ. Let me ask you a counter question. Let me ask you a counter question. Do you know how much was an average income of an Indian? Let's take for example anything. What do you remember? How much? जब आप first या second में थे, या whenever you're like third, fourth, when you had some senses, do you remember if somebody elder in your family used to get a job? अंदाजा कितनी सैलरी होती थी? Starting salaries of India were how much? कितनी होती थी स्टार्टिंग सैलरी? 7,000, 10,000, 5,000, 7,000, 12,000, राइट? पर मंथ ऐसे हो जाता था. You would have heard कि वो उसकी तो they have got a salary of 2.5 lakh rupees annum, right? 10,000 per month average. Today, what's an average salary you hear around you? Leave India average. Now, today, if you hear somebody, किसी की job लगी, somebody who's 3-4 years elder to you, who's starting their job, what's the average salary that they get? around you, any course, engineering, CA, MBBS, anything, MBA, एवरेज सैलरी कितने सुनने मिलती है आसपास? 50,000 तो कॉमन हो गई है, राइट? दैट्स व्हाट पीपल, 40-50,000 तो वेरी कॉमन। मिनिमम 8-9 लाख का पैकेज लोग कह रहे हैं कि इज एवरेज, इन हैंड यू गेट लाइक 50-60,000 रुपीज, राइट? Its starting has become 40-50,000. So from a 10,000 the income has increased to 50,000. तो ब्रेड क्यों सस्ती रहे भाई? तो ब्रेड क्यों सस्ती रहे? If your income can increase 5 times, bread will also increase 4 times. If bread's price will not increase, if there is no inflation, then your income also not increases. Now understand this. You are a cost to somebody. आप job कर रहे हैं, आप business कर रहे हैं, whatever you're doing, you're a cost to somebody. If tomorrow you say मेरी income बढ़ाओ, आप कह रहे हो inflation कर दें हम? Inflation तो अच्छी नहीं है इंडिया के लिए. जॉब भी तो बेसिक नीड है दोस्त. नहीं ना, ब्रेड बेसिक नीड है तो जॉब भी तो बेसिक नीड है. जॉब की कॉस्ट क्यों बढ़ा दी? For a business person who was paying 10,000 for the same job 15 years ago, today they have to pay 50,000 for the same job. ऐसा तो नहीं है आप कुछ अलग कर रहे हो, right? I'll come to why the poorer is becoming poorer. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that happens. But you understand why inflation is important. Inflation does not only increase prices. Please understand this. Inflation will increase incomes as well. अगर inflation नहीं होगी तो income भी नहीं बढ़ेगी, याद रखना. Inflation नहीं होगी तो income भी नहीं बढ़ेगी, income भी वहीं रह जाएगी. तो if your income has to grow, you need inflation because your income is somebody's cost. And if cost is increasing, which is inflation, your income is increasing because your income is somebody's cost. तो inflation तो अच्छी चीज है यार. Inflation तो होनी चाहिए, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं होनी चाहिए. Moderate inflation for a developing economy is a healthy sign of growth. Remember that. Now there is a question, very interesting question. Favorite topic है मेरा. Then why is poor becoming poorer? Why is poor person becoming poorer? Because my friend, one, there are 3 reasons why the poor is becoming poor. Number one is, I'm just going away from the syllabus for 2 minutes because this is important. Once you get this, everything starts making sense as a business strategy. The poor is becoming poor because one, they are not future ready. I'm telling you this upfront. All of us will be poor as well if we are not future ready. Poor आदमी अपने आप को future proof नहीं कर रहा है. If a person, okay, let's be honest here, if a person who is doing X work and getting 10,000 rupees, today that job is the business is no longer there, everything is moving online, maybe they have to move online. If you're rigid कि यार हम तो ऐसे ही हैं भैया, you'll become poorer. One. Number two, the price inflation is higher than the income inflation. यहाँ पे है disparity. The problem starts when the inflation in prices is more than the inflation in income. Your income is growing 5%, the prices of the products is increasing 7%, so 2% every year आप गरीब होते जा रहे हो. You're becoming poorer by 2% every year. सोचो, it's how huge a number it is. 2% से हर साल आप गरीब हो रहे हैं. Everybody, not just you, not just me. The richest man in India is also becoming 2% poorer, but उनके पास इतना पैसा वो समझ नहीं आएगा. But percentage point में they are also poor. If their income increases 5% and price of the product increases 7%, everybody is poor by 2%. Sorry. So that is how inflation beats you. And poor becomes poor because there is a gap between price inflation and income inflation. Number three, unequal distribution. Yeah, that's right. Money is flowing in the hands of the few. Money is flowing in the hands of very few people. वो लोग सारा business consolidate करते जा रहे हैं. Okay, understand this. Understand this. You eat Tata salt. I'm not saying Tata is bad or good. I'm just saying how economies work across the globe, not just India, across the globe. You eat salt Tata ka, you drive a Tata Motors car, you get Tata electricity, the poles are by Tata, and you use Tata Sky for TV, and you use XYZ product, sab Tata ka. Then you use SIM card Reliance ka, right? You Reliance Fresh से आप सामान मंगवाते हो, Reliance Farms से you have the vegetables and all of that. So 60% of your daily needs are covered by 5, 6 brands. They have multiple, they have invested in, even if they're not their brand, they have invested money in that business. वहां पैसा डाल के रखा हुआ है. तो ये कुछ चंद brand, 10, 12 companies, 10, 12 big rich people are holding everything that the India buys. तो ये तो disparity होगी. The money is flowing to a few, from you to a few. It's flowing from you to a few. और ये disparity तो आएगी मेरे दोस्त, and that will happen. Can't escape that. It's happening across the globe. So India did decentralization. कि भाई छोटे छोटे किराना स्टोर, वो भी कंसोलिडेट हो रहा है. Zepto, Blinkit, Big Basket, all of they are consolidating the small kirana stores. That's an economic environment. That's an economic, that is how the economy is shaping up. It's consolidating in the hands of the few. That's an economic environment. The interest rate, the repo rate, the reverse repo rate of RBI, the interest rate, loan interest rate कम हो गया तो businesses grow कर जाएंगे because loan लेना सस्ता हो जाएगा. If the interest rate goes higher, people will take lesser loans and they will put less money in growth. That will also happen, right? If it leads to 2% poorer, then somewhere inflation is not absolutely good. Inflation is healthy when it is balanced and low. So inflation होना जरूरी है. Inflation is growth of your money. सेम पैसे में आपको सेम चीज ज्यादा पैसे में मिलेगी. That's a healthy growth for an economy which is developing. Only then you develop as an economy. That's how you expand your economy. बट ये इम्बैलेंस नहीं होना चाहिए, और ये ऐसा नहीं 10%, 11% इन्फ्लेशन होना चाहिए. इट शुड बी लाइक 4, 5, 6% healthy for a developing country. And there should be a balance in income and expenditure inflation. Income नहीं बढ़ रही, expense बढ़ता जा रहा है, obviously you'll become poor. So that balance is what the sarkar, the government has to figure out. The economists have to figure out. That is economic environment. Political legal environment, my friend. Political legal environment. You understand this more than me. You were taking example of Patanjali also, but they understand the political legal environment, right? They understand which party, what network. Many businesses you would see flourish because they have networks and connections with political parties, right? Because they understand the political parties will make the laws eventually. They will make the trade laws, so it's good to have network and relations with them. Ethical relations, right? We only talk about ethical relations. We're not saying you go and do uh, gaplas and all of that. Never do that. Short term mein maza aayega, long term mein you'll die, right? It's written in stone. Anything which is unethical will give you a high in the short term. In the long term, you will never, ever, ever flourish. Okay? So with ethical ways, build relations, talk to the government, convince them, have a knowledge transfer session, be related to the government, have that connect with the government ministries of whichever industry you're in. Build those relations, understand what's happening there. That is important. Afghanistan में जाके business करना मुश्किल है. The political legal situation is bad. But doing business in Dubai is good because the political legal situation is quite easy and simple. Figure out. Figure out for your business what makes sense. Okay. Technological environment, my friend. टेक्नोलॉजी कैसे चेंज हो रही है व्हाट इज द न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी फ्रॉम cars we were seeing EV AI is coming, right? AI is coming. Can you use AI in your business technology? Remove middle managers, get into an AI analysis, use that to speed up, increase your efficiency and effectiveness. How can you use artificial intelligence, the new technology, the new EV system everywhere? कहीं ना कहीं cloud technology आ रही है, phone technology, 6G आने वाला है. We're at 5G. अभी 6G भी आने वाला है. In couple of years, we'll see 6G, 7G. The speed of the internet will just increase like anything. Upload, download, tuck tuck tuck, fingertips pe hoga, right? So with change the business will have to change. Changes in technology have an effect on how a business runs its operations. The technological advancements might require a business to drastically alter its operational, production and marketing strategies. You have to work around with the technological advancements. Okay. Great. Before we go on to pestle analysis, which is a tool to analyze micro and macro environment, what I'll do is I see time 8:36. Let's take a quick break, think in what all we have studied, and be back in 10 minutes and learn pestle analysis. Okay, how do you analyze a macro environment? Let's go for a 10 minutes break and be back by 8:45ish. I'll be back and see you in 10 minutes and start with Pestle. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, we are back. I'll wait for a minute for you to join back if you can hear me. Send me any emoji, yes, no, okay, on the chat so that I know you're back as well. And we will start from pestle analysis right away. Thank you, Kinari. Thank you. Mr. Almas, thank you. Actually, why I'm standing because I like talking while standing. It gives me energy. मैं बैठ जाता हूँ, then I feel very relaxed. That's why I stand and I even stand and work. बैठ के I feel boring कि अरे energy नहीं है, ऐसे मन करता है फिर YouTube देखते रहे. You don't feel like working. That's my personal life. Especially in mornings, you feel sleepy, right? When you are on a sofa or a couch or on a reclining chair, high chances you will start feeling dizzy. Once you're standing, you can't sleep. Awesome. Thanks, Uma. Glad you're back. Okay, question to all of you. What is pestle, भैया? Pestle analysis होता क्या है? What is pestle? What is pestle analysis में pestle क्या होता है? PASTLE, pestle क्या चीज है? Pestle is something to crush. वो pistol है? Is it a gun? Is it a pistol? Is it a pestle to crush spices? वो होता है ना brick वाला pestle and mortar. What is pestle? It's external environment. अच्छा, okay. What else? What is pestle? Try give an answer in chat. What do you think is pestle? Okay. What we've just learned is pestle. Okay. It's an acronym of the various macro environment components. Very nice. You're given all the components. Very nice. Political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environment. Okay. Absolutely. In 12th, you studied this. It's pestle analysis, political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, legal, and environmental. It's a tool to analyze your external environment. If somebody says, I want to analyze my external environment, they will use pestle analysis. Political factors, the government, the intervenes of the economy and activities of the business firms. The economic factors, interest rates, inflation, right? The economic conditions, GDP growth. Social factors like companies' products and how the company operates, the demand, the social cultural thing. Technological, how the technology is changing, the new ways of doing business. Legal factors, how easy it is to do business. What's the cost of legal compliances that a company has to do? The environmental factors like tourism, farming, insurance, what's happening? What are the environment factors for the business? Like, are we environmental friendly? Are we damaging the society? What are we doing? Right? Certain examples of technology, let's say replacement of technology, maturity of technology, manufacturing. Now, this table is the most important in pestle analysis. अभी पेस्टल समझना तो आसान है पॉलिटिकल इकोनॉमिक सोशो कल्चरल टेक्नोलॉजिकल लीगल and environmental. Abhi, each of these topics is a question in itself. Okay. Now, I will ask you questions. You have to identify which of the following am I talking about. Okay. Are we ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I'll give you an example and you have to tell me which component am I talking about. ये याद रखना ये study material से है. Please remember this table. A lot of questions can come from here. Okay. Very nice. First question, first statement I'm going to tell you is a lot of people buy air conditioners in November and December. So the prices of the air conditioners are less and I can remove or give away a lot of stock. I can finish my stock as a business because people buy a lot of air conditioners in November, December. Which factor am I talking about here? मुजाहिद से गुड मॉर्निंग. अरे गुड मॉर्निंग कौन सा फैक्टर है दोस्त? इकोनॉमिक, एनवायरमेंटल, ऑसम, वेरी नाइस. इकोनॉमिक, एनवायरमेंटल, बहुत बढ़िया. सिर्फ एक करेक्ट आंसर आया है, सब लोग जीरो. नील बटा सन्नाटा. Everybody got a zero from me right now. The correct answer is consumer buying pattern. कंज्यूमर बाइंग पैटर्न भैया जीरो मिल जाएगा एग्जाम में. कैसे सोच रहे हो इकोनॉमिक, क्यों सोच रहे हो एनवायरमेंटल? एक तो एनवायरमेंटल कैसे आया मुझे बताओ. Buying air conditioners in winters because the price is less is a consumer buying pattern. Is a consumer buying. भाई आप स्वेटर सर्दियों में खरीदोगे. If you buy a sweater during peak winters, it will be costly. If you buy the same sweater in the month of May, it will be on discount because they have to clear their stock. आपको सस्ता मिल जाएगा 3 महीने बाद. Use that. It's a consumer buying pattern. Socio-cultural aspect of external environment. Come on, come on, come on, speed up. Okay, let me go to the next example. I started doing a business of hair. I started doing haircut. ठीक है जी, हेयर कट की शॉप खोली है मैंने. हेयर कट सलून खोला है. And what I do is, my competitors, the people already around me, are charging 200 rupees for a haircut. I tell Sundays ko, the Sundays haircut is free. Haircut on Sundays is free. That is my scheme. My competitor takes me to the court and says he is doing unfair business practices. Unfair business practice कर रहा है. The court says you're right. This is unfair. You can't do this. Price कम कर सकते हो, फ्री नहीं कर सकते, वो भी संडे को. बाकी सबका बिजनेस काटने के लिए. This is unfair. And I have to close my shop. I am being told you have to close down your business. Which aspect am I talking about here? Which aspect am I talking about here? Legal के अंदर competition law. Don't just tell me legal, tell me which component within that component am I talking about. I'm talking about competition law within legal. I'm talking about competition law within legal. Okay, competition law, which is part of legal environment. Do you guys know what is foxnut makhana? Makhana सुना है क्या होता है? Makhana or foxnut? Give me a yes if you know. Yes, very nice. Foxnut, makhane, very nice. Lotus seeds. Okay. I am a wholesaler. I'm a wholesaler of makhanas or lotus seeds or foxnut. I sell it for 700 rupees a kg. I sell it for 700 rupees a kg in my local market. I sell it for 1200 rupees a kg in Big Bazaar, and I export that to Spain for 7,000 rupees a kg, which is I sell it for $100 a kg to Spain. Which aspect of external environment am I understanding and using here? Give me the sub component also. भाई सिर्फ इन 6 में से नहीं. I need which sub component am I talking about? 700 local market, 1200. I see some people almost reaching the right answer. A few getting miss. directed. The correct answer is economic strength of consumer spending. मेरी लोकल मार्केट में लोग 1200 रुपए केजी नहीं खरीदेंगे. People in my local market do not have the income appetite to buy a 1200 rupee kg product. People who are coming to a mall, driving a car with their kids and family and parents, having shades on their eyes, having a gold bracelet, वो बिग बाजार जा रहे हैं शॉपिंग करने for them weekly. They can spend 1200 rupees per kg. I am going to charge 1200. Same product I'm taking to Europe. भाई स्पेंडिंग पावर ज्यादा है वहां पे द स्पेंडिंग पावर ऑफ द पीपल इज मोर. आई एम सेलिंग फॉर $100 a kg. 8,500 rupees हो गए per kg. People are buying. So the strength of consumer spending is the right answer here, is what I'm trying to study, analyze, and use to build my business. Strength of consumer spending. Are we clear? Are we clear? Yes, sir. Very nice. Last example देता हूँ. Last example देता हूँ, and let me see if you can figure out or not. I want to start a business where I make three small food packets. एक में I put poha, एक में I put upma, एक में I put, let's say, anything else. Poha, upma, what else I get? Let's say I put Maggie, or let's say not Maggie, नाश्ते में और क्या हो सकता है? ढोकला. I put a poha packet, I put an upma packet, I put a dhokla packet. Okay, तीन packets हैं. I make 20,000 such packets and I start selling in small carts. I hire 20 people with small carts. They stand outside hospitals and tuition centers and the morning stuff, right? हॉस्पिटल के बाहर लोगों को नाश्ता करना है, ऑफिसेज के बाहर नाश्ता करना है, स्कूल के बाहर नाश्ता करना है. I place these 20 people on hand carts outside schools, hospitals and offices, and they just sell this breakfast items of small packets of upma 20 rupees, poha 20 rupees, dhokla 20 rupees. 20 rupees के packets I start selling. Okay, I'm selling this. Business is doing good. One police officer catch holds of my one of my handcart person and says, "Where are you making this?" He says, "I'm not making this. There's this person who gives me every morning and says if I sell everything, I get 1,000 rupees." Says, "Who's giving it to you?" He gives my phone number. The police officer calls me. The police officer says, "Hello, I saw you're selling food item. Do you have registration to sell food item?" Say, registration? पोहा उपमा बेच रहा हूँ, registration क्या करूँ? क्या ऐसे नहीं होता? You need to have a registration from the Food Corporation of India that the way you are making food is healthy enough, is hygienic enough. You cannot sell like this. He puts a case on me. I go to the court and I present my case. What is happening here? What did I miss here? What in the pestle analysis did I miss here? I understood the demographic price point रख लिया मैंने. Right? I understood my political, तो मेरे को जरूरत नहीं थी देखने की. Social, I figured out the demographic, the price point of what people need, the economic consumer spending power देख ली. Then I hired people and all of that. What did I miss? What did I miss? Legal, health, and safety law. All of you are giving the right answer. Now you know how answers are given. You're giving the right answer. I missed health and safety law in my pestle analysis. भैया गड़बड़ हो गई. So now the question is pestle analysis important? Yes or no? Is pestle analysis important? Yes. Now you understand why pestle analysis is important, because it tells you, are you safe, and have you taken care of all these elements which can lead to disaster for your business. So we are protecting ourselves against disasters. Strategic management serves as a corporate defense mechanism. अरे shit, ये तो chapter 2 and 1 are interconnected. Strategic management involves strategic analysis. The strategic management step number 1 is planning and analysis. In analysis, we are doing strategy analysis. Strategy analysis mein we are analyzing macro environment. Macro environment mein we are doing pestle analysis, which is helping me understand why external environment study is important, so that I safeguard myself from disasters in the future. So is strategic management helping me become a corporate defense mechanism? Yes. Yes. The importance of strategic management, what you have studied in chapter 1, is this is practically how it is protecting you from disasters in the future. Do you now understand the cycle flow of what we are studying? हम पढ़ क्या रहे हैं और क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं? Why am I even studying this after that chapter? Why is this important? Right? I will, Naina. We're just coming to question and answers. I'll give that for sure. But before that, do you understand the flow? Now it becomes dissolves into your brain. Oh, okay. This is how it helps. I understand macro environment so that it helps in decision making. Wow. Okay. Strategic management helps in decision making. Acha. Competitive advantage. 20 rupees उपमा पोहा दे रहा हूँ. Competitive advantage है. What a price point. People will buy like anything. Everybody would want to buy fresh garma garam upma poha dhokla outside hospital schools. It helps in decision making because you have analyzed external environment. You know the opportunity. You know your strength. Yes. Strategic management. यही है strategic management, my friend. You're doing all of this simultaneously. एक साथ सब कुछ सोच के समझ के you're building businesses. That is strategic management. Are we clear? Give me a big yes, thumbs up, whatever you want to give. If now you understand this entire thing so far. Okay, very nice. What I'll do now is, it's already 9:03. I'll stop sharing. We'll stop here at pestle analysis today. Okay, and we'll get to questions. We'll get to questions. Awesome. Thank you, Judy. Bold, clear, clear, clear. Very good. Okay, Nana has a question. Can I give an example of lifestyle trend? Absolutely. A lot of people are going to gym, Nana. A lot of people, young girls and boys, middle-aged men, women, old-age men, women are trying to become healthier. There's a lifestyle change trend happening. भाई पहले आपने कभी देखा था the gym wear segment, decathlon, companies like decathlon are booming in India. Why? Because there is a lifestyle change. Yoga pants, yoga mat. भाई yoga mat, every household has 2 or 3 yoga mats. Market, lifestyle change. People want to do yoga. The lifestyle change, become healthier. यहाँ पे market पकड़ रहे हैं लोग. Health drinks. You see now protein bars, whey protein. ये सब क्या है? Why are these products becoming big? Because of lifestyle change, the trend of lifestyle. You want to become healthier. You want to spend money on your way of living, a healthier way of living. That is lifestyle trend. Okay? That is lifestyle trend. Very nice. I'll stop sharing here and we go to questions, my friend. Feel free to ask questions, doubts, clarity. Raise your hands if you want to talk. We'll be happy to unmute you. You're not comfortable talking, write down your doubts on the chat. we'll be happy to answer. Think if you revise chapter 2, chapter 1, whatever we have studied in the last 4 sessions, I'm happy to answer everything that helps you. Okay. While you're answering, please be sure, please look at the schedule of classes, the upcoming schedule of classes, right? I don't want you to wake up early and see if the class is there or not. So go and see the schedule of next classes, okay, and join accordingly. Make sure you go back and check that schedule. Feel free to ask questions, raise your hands. Happy to answer. The session was understanding, no doubts. Awesome, Kennedy. Very happy. If this is helping, I don't need anything more. Very happy that it's helping. You can go on the website and see the schedule. The next class would be on 26th, right? Next week, there won't be a class. The next session we'll take on 26th of April. So you have ample time. I'll upload the notes anyway. Okay, I'll upload the notes anyway. You can go read. I'll upload some assignment as well for the things we have done so far. You can practice that. Please do not stop reading the study material. Use this time for next week, right? Study the study material, suggested answers, previous year question papers, revise, practice, not just this, every subject. Every subject, my friend. Okay. Cannot still figure out, that's what I'm saying. Read suggested answers, previous year question papers. Uske bina, it's going to be very, very difficult. Okay. Use the time, see the schedule again. The next class will be on 26th of April, Saturday. We'll start from here so that you do not lose the flow. What I want you to do is go and read the study material. Use the time to read the study material. Come back with more questions for me. I want more questions for me. I want you to have doubts. Okay. Very happy, Mohammed. If you're reading a study material and using the tracker, very happy. Very happy. Okay. If we okay. Awesome. No doubts. Thank you. Thank you, Momo. Very happy for you. You're not getting the confidence whether the answer I'm writing or thinking is correct. Practice. You have to build that. I agree. Till the last day of the exam, you will not have that confidence. That's okay. But if you're writing something and that is almost 60, 70, 80% close to what the institute expects, you're safe. Okay. You don't have to be 100% same. Be as close as possible and be confident. Ho jayega. Don't overstress yourself. Don't overburden yourself for perfection. If the answer is in line, it's there, it's good. Okay, Parvez, I see you want to ask a question. I'm unmuting you. Go ahead.
मॉर्निंग
Morning, Parvez. How are you?
फाइन सर सर ये मेमोराइज कैसे करेंगे बहुत हिंदी लेती है
बिल्कुल
तो कैसे मेमोराइज करें
मेमोराइज का परवेज ऐसा है करना तो पड़ेगा ओके अगेन देयर आर ट्रिक्स एंड टेक्निक्स जैसे हमारे नोट्स हैं अब हम पीपीटी दे रहे हैं सो आपको रिवीजन होगा सारांश करके एक बहुत ही अच्छा अपना है यहाँ पे रिवीजन नोट्स है विच इज ऑन द बीओएस वेबसाइट एक बार स्टडी मटेरियल पढ़ेंगे ना रीड स्टडी मटेरियल एज अ स्टोरी राइट हाउ वी सजेस्ट लाइक एनी अदर सब्जेक्ट लाइक एन ऑडिट वगैरह वो तो देखिए बिल्कुल याद करना पड़ता है स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट में अच्छा क्या है इट इज लाइक आई सेड इट्स ऑल कॉमन सेंस कि भाई अब पॉलिटिकल तो देखना पड़ेगा इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन तो देखना पड़ेगा विच इज अ कॉमन सेंस थिंग राइट हाउ एवर when you're read it like these are 6 points anybody has to remember. When you're reading the study material, you read it like a story. Then when you're revising or looking at the questions, right, question में भी आप सेम चीज 4 बार पढ़ेंगे. आप क्वेश्चन जब सजेस्टेड क्वेश्चंस पढ़ रहे हैं आप तब भी सेम चीज पढ़ेंगे जो स्टडी मटेरियल में लिखा है वहीं से आंसर लिया गया है एंड फाइनली when जब आप नोट्स पढ़ेंगे वहां पर फिर आपको पॉइंट्स दिखेंगे so it's like your recall value starts increasing when you read the same thing 3 times Fourth time you feel bored, but you already know what's in those 6 points. So it's more like you have to spend time looking at different the same thing from different angles. Study material में same pestle पढ़ा, फिर हम आंसर्स में एक क्वेश्चन वी गॉट टू नो कि यार पेस्टल के ऊपर एक क्वेश्चन था, ऐसे लिखा गया था, फिर समझ आ गया पेस्टल के 6 पॉइंट्स क्या थे. मैं नोट्स में गया जब रिवीजन के टाइम अपने, रिवीजन में देखा पेस्टल के 6 पॉइंट, मुझे फिर याद आ गया. तो इट्स लाइक द मोर यू कीप अपना ट्रैक बना के रखेंगे, यार एक आज पढ़ा था, 2 हफ्ते बाद फिर एक क्वेश्चन के रूप में पढ़ा, फिर मैंने रिवीजन के लिए फिर से पढ़ा, तो अपने आप आपको याद होगा. अगर आप इफ यू स्टार्ट स्ट्रेसिंग कि यार याद कैसे होगा, तो कभी याद नहीं होगा. सब कुछ याद नहीं हो सकता, आई विल बी ऑनेस्ट विद यू. सो यू हैव
इस
टू फिगर आउट द राइट थिंग्स टू रिमेम्बर.
इसके लिए मैंने क्रैकर लिया है कि क्रैकर को सामने रख के ना वो
हाँ.
क्वेश्चंस के हिसाब से उन लोगों ने बनाया हुआ है
ओके.
कि भाई ये क्वेश्चंस है, ये टॉपिक है, टॉपिक के हिसाब से क्वेश्चंस है, क्वेश्चन के हिसाब से फिर उन्होंने बताया कि भाई ये कब कब आया था, कितने कितने पॉइंट का आया था.
राइट. Which is a good thing, right? If you get आपको historically पता चल रहा है how the question is being asked and how the thing is being, it helps. If that helps, that's good for you. That's also a good technique. It's same like suggested answer देखना, ये कब कब आया था, वो एक जगह पे है, यहाँ पे you'll have to figure out, right?
थैंक यू सर.
Thank you. Thanks for raise.
Hi, Jit.
Hello, ma'am.
I would like to add on
Sure.
the answer which the student has asked, that for that matter, they can, for practice, they can opt for model test papers, which is a combined question and answer of this suggested answers as well as mock test papers. So for practice, students can always opt for model test papers. Right. Another thing I would like to say that wherever students feel that they are not able to write down the correct answers or articulate the answers in a better way, so for that matter, practice is the only solution. One has to write. One has to write and again go back to the answers given by ICAI. Check yourself that whether what you have written and what is already mentioned over there, what is the difference between the two. Like that, you have to make it like make a checker concept, right? And for MCQ, students can go for MCQ portal for practice. There is a MCQ portal. It's my request to all my students that please go on MCQ portal. On that portal, all the case scenarios, I think around 30 case scenarios are already uploaded on that portal, as well as MCQs of all the chapters. And that portal is only for your practice. Please practice from there also.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we have another question. If you could help me with that, please.
Yeah.
The
Please.
question is, why study material for September 25 and Jan 26 is not available on the portal? I could only see May 25 under the new study material section.
No, it is May 25 onwards. Study material is from May 25 onwards. Onwards word means it is applicable for September as well as for January 2026. Right?
Perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Any other query?
No, ma'am, all of those have been resolved. I just see another one. Okay. How to identify questions so that we can write correct answer? Practice. Pratik,
This is the
practice.
only solution.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing, I have
Go
a
ahead, ma'am.
question for students. That so far in today's session, we have studied macro environment, micro environment, and external environment. But can anybody tell me why we need pastel analysis? It's a very fundamental question. And in today's class, your faculty, Arjit Sethi, have already addressed so many times. So please give your answers that why we need pastel analysis, why an organization requires pastel analysis. You have read the concept, but why? Please chat or unmute, raise your hand so that we can unmute you.
Let me unmute, ma'am. Sure. Parvez, I think you have raised your hand first, so I'll unmute you. Then I go to Kinari.
Actually, ma'am, business have affected like political issues, social issues,
Okay. Okay.
technological issue, economic issue. मतलब
Mhm.
जितने भी आज हम अगर बिजनेस को कोई देखना चाहते हैं तो इतना स्मूथली रन करना मतलब आसान नहीं है। तो
Okay.
क्योंकि देखिए अभी महाराष्ट्र में है तो यहाँ
Hmm.
पे पॉलिटिकल इशू कहीं पे
Hmm.
होगा तो
Hmm.
जहाँ पे
Hmm.
इन्वायरमेंटल इशू होगा।
Hmm.
तो ये
Hmm.
पेस्ट एनालिसिस इसलिए बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है।
अच्छा, इससे आप क्या करेंगे? व्हाट यू विल डू फ्रॉम पेस्टल एनालिसिस? अगर चलो पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज हैं।
हमको उसके अकॉर्डिंग चलना पड़ेगा और उसके हिसाब से
ओके,
रास्ते निकालने पड़ेंगे।
दैट मीन्स वी कैन से आपका बहुत अच्छा आंसर आपने दिया एंड आई एम वेरी हैप्पी, बट द
थैंक यू।
ओनली थिंग हाउ यू विल राइट इट, आप
यस
क्या लिखेंगे? Because the external forces, business is affected by external forces and it cannot control but must respond to it.
यस
Right?
राइट
उसको रेस्पॉन्ड तो हमें करना पड़ेगा, हम उसको कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते। पॉलिटिकल चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, कुछ हो रहा है, वी कांट। अभी तो अगर हम बात करें तो इंटरनेशनल बात करते हैं, अगर ग्लोबली
यस
बात
यस
करें तो आप समझ पाएंगे कि कितना जबरदस्त जो है पॉलिटिकल चेंजेस हैं।
यस
राइट? एक दिन यूएस इकोनॉमी में कुछ हो रहा है, एक दिन कुछ हो रहा है, एज अ
चाइना में हो
रिजल्ट
रहा
आप देखिए कि इंडिया में क्या इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है। यू
है।
ऑल
यस
आर
यस
अवेयर अबाउट इट।
यस
We are not able to control that, right?
यस
But we can respond according to that.
यस। मैंने उसके लिए बोला कि हमको उसी अकॉर्डिंग चलना पड़ेगा चाहे
Right. So for that matter, you require pestle analysis.
यस।
Right? चलिए, any other query?
Ma'am, we have another answer. I think I'll unmute Kinari.
Mm-hmm.
You can go
Mm-hmm.
ahead, please.
Yeah, please.
Good morning, ma'am. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ma'am, the question was really interesting, and I have a opinion a little different and wide. If we look at the pestle analysis beforehand, then it will help in making the strategy, which will help our strategy to be more strong in proactive case,
Okay.
like in that
Right.
angle. And also while making a strategy, if we go for a thorough pestle analysis, then during the economic, political,
Mm-hmm.
technological
Mm-hmm.
changes that is happening, when the time is to react on it, then we would be able to stand alone on our strategy, which will give us the benefit of surviving in the market. And then when the economy comes at the boosting part, that is then we will get the advantage of higher profits, more growth, because we
Mm-hmm.
could survive and win the trust of the consumers at that moment.
Good, good. I have a question for you. Okay. Just think the COVID-19 situation.
Okay.
How the organizations cope up with that particular scenario. Just
Ma'am,
think of it. Had any organization or any person thought of it that the COVID-19 will come?
no, ma'am.
No.
Of course,
No, na?
nobody could
So
imagine,
for
not even
the
the big,
yes. So how can
not
you
even
proactively behave on that particular situation?
ma'am, they did not. No one was ready for the pandemic, physical pandemic like this. But
Hmm.
yes, the environment. Everyone presumes, like every business would presume the upcoming challenges, which may not be foreseen at that particular moment. But they do,
Okay.
like for example, if I talk in the accounts terms, then we do keep reserves for certain specific things. Special reserves are always created, which helps us during such unforeseen scenarios.
Right, right.
Like
Like
it
in
is like a,
organizations, when this COVID-19 came, right? Many of the organizations take corrective measures in a very fast mode, right?
yeah, because they were having sufficient resources for that, they
Yeah,
stored
yeah.
those resources for the
Like I
future
can give you an
upcoming,
example
like
of educational industry. right? अगर हम educational industry का example लो,
Yeah.
तो few of the schools have started and ready for Zoom classes as well as any other platform, and they have started those classes immediately. But few
Yes.
of the schools have taken this action only after once they will understand the things from the right?
It did happen. Yeah.
Okay. Any other doubt?
Ma'am, I think
Okay.
all clear. Yeah.
Okay. As we come up to the conclusion of this insightful session, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to my faculty, CA Ajit Sethi, for sharing his expertise and providing us with a comprehensive understanding of strategic management. His detailed explanations on macro environment, micro environment, pestle analysis, strategic analysis have certainly enriched our knowledge. A special thanks to all my students for their active participation and engagement, and I especially thank to all students who have live in these classes, because Sunday mornings it's tough for everyone to uh, start their day with the classes, and especially for the strategic management classes. So I am very thankful to all the students, and I really appreciate the efforts which the students are put in. Thank you, everyone. With this, we hope session has provided you valuable insights that will help you in academic journey and professional endeavors. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. We will
Thank
come
you,
up
ma'am.
with some more interesting sessions, more interesting questions. And students, my request to you, please fill your feedback form, which is very, very helpful to us. If you want to make any changes in the classes, if you want that this can be more emphasized, this can be less emphasized, or you want to change any, you want that the format of taking the classes, whatever you feel, because it will always helpful to us go forward. Because remember that these classes are only for you. We are here just to mentor you. Wherever you feel that we can improve it in a better way, please send your feedback so that we can move forward accordingly. With this, thank you. And I think next weekend we have no class,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So
Yes.
students, please make a note of it, that I suppose that on next Saturday and Sunday, we have no class. Faculty will provide you the assignments. That no class means, it doesn't mean that till 15 days we are not going to read or study strategic management. No, not at all. We have to continuously practice and come up with good queries, so that we will be happy to address all the queries. So by that time, Arjit, you can give some assignment
Absolutely.
and some
Absolutely.
work to students so that they can gear up themselves. And even for future chapters, you can give
Sure.
some to them
Absolutely.
so that they
Absolutely.
will not waste their time.
Awesome.
Right?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Yeah, session.